I'm here tonight to introduce Jonathan Webb, the CEO of the nuclear company. Mr. Webb has a history of rapidly building massive climate-resilient infrastructure. He supports the U.S. Army in developing and implementing privately financed, large-scale, energy-resilient projects on military installations. He then founded App Harvest in his native Kentucky in the wake of the United Nations declaration that the world must grow 50% more food by 2050 to feed the growing population. He's now focused on America's unprecedented energy demands. Jonathan has succeeded in building large-scale, first-of-a-kind facilities by expanding on proven designs and collaborating with experienced industry partners. In founding the nuclear company, Jonathan brings his experience in rapidly building large infrastructure projects to an industry more vital than at any point in its history. With America quickly decommissioning coal-fired power plants, nuclear power offers abundant, clean, and firm baseload power. The nuclear company is hard at work with energy experts, construction leaders, and experienced operators to begin the next stage of the nuclear age as the industry reclaims its legacy of monumental construction achievements across America. Please join me in welcoming Jonathan to the stage.
Energy has always been the foundation of power for nations, economies, and now for intelligence itself. As artificial intelligence accelerates, it's driving the largest surge in energy demand the world has ever seen. Data centers, advanced manufacturing, and electrification of everything are growing at exponential speeds. And America isn't prepared. While the U.S. quietly debates, other nations are building rapidly and at scale. This isn't just a race for clean energy, it's a race to control the systems that will define the next century. Because whoever powers artificial intelligence will control the platforms, the economies, and the geopolitics of the future. But a few bold companies are making sure that this power belongs to us.
My name's Jonathan Webb, and I'm looking to go build a lot of large nuclear reactors all across the U.S. You look at energy growth from the start of cavemen with fire until now, energy up fuels the civilization around them. And the reason the U.S. is where we are today is because of the vast amount of resources that this country has provided us. Do we think we're going to be the largest economy in the world if we're not the largest nuclear power in the world? I would argue they're directly correlated.
And we were the world leaders. We're good at it. But we kind of gave up on going out into the world. We said, no, let's focus on North America. In the meantime, the Russians, Chinese, and others started filling the space. We need to get that back.
China today is building nearly 40 nuclear power plants. The United States is building 0. If the very foundation of how we grow as a nation is built upon energy, we got to catch up.
If we intend to deliver on nuclear energy's promise, we've got to get back to the frontier, the nuclear frontier.
All right, so I've never been in a film before, but that's going to be at the Kennedy Center September 15th, so get with Chris if anybody wants to come. The name of the company is the Nuclear Company. We kind of thought, what better way to get our message out than to do a full-length feature documentary, so there you go. This idea that energy growth and loving our environment are in contradiction is something that's a myth. It's just not true. And I'm a guy that grew up in Kentucky, love our state. I did not have these conversations growing up. My parents went to college but did not finish college, so I was the college graduate in our family. My dad's WeWork was the corner office at the Waffle House, so I would go often, and he would always be working on his deals in his corner booth. We just did not have these conversations. I mean, we grew up just loving what was around us, creeks, streams, wildlife. And it's deeply in jeopardy. I mean, there's no question. I mean, we have like 15 different things to worry about. Climate's one of them. I mean, the other one is China's about to take over the world. The other one is, AI and data compute. So it's like, what do we do day to day? Like, how do we contribute? Well, this is one of them. So thank you to ACC and what you all are doing. I mean, it's actually, like I'm sitting in the back, like listening, from 10,000 people to 100,000 people this year, you are about to cannibalize the environmental community and just dominate and take over the Sierra Club and every other environmental organization. So thank you, ACC. And you all have got to make this work. My wife would kill me. This is probably being recorded. Helps run, she does fundraising for Climate Group. Climate Group is the organization that does Climate Week every week in New York. She's the only person at Climate Group that does not live in New York, DC, or London. 80% of the team is in London. And it's like, what the F? It's 2025. Trust me, London believes in all the climate initiatives, as does New York, as does DC. Come to the middle part of the country, help us rally people who you've ostracized and get them to come believe in these things. She believes in this. She's a believer. She's with us. But she's on the inside trying to get that side to come our direction. In Climate Week this year, which we're going to go, so we're doing this film, which, in seriousness, there's a thing at the Kennedy Center that if you have any way of getting to, come RSVP. But then we're going on a 2-week bus tour to 12 colleges across 6 states. And it's directly during the time of Climate Week. And the reason why is let's go meet people where they're at. And let's not demonize them. And let's just hear from them, like what are your concerns, what do you believe in, and how can we kind of like bridge the gap on climate environmental stuff. And if you talk to most people, they want clean air, they want clean water, they want all the things that we want. They just don't want to be preached at and yelled at in the wild, wonky way of whatever's over here. So this is the team. Like ACC is the team. There is not. I feel like I'm the old person in the room here, but I'm not that much older. But I can tell you I've been around enough to say there's no other ACC. This is it. So that 100,000 is great. Let's get to 1 million. When are you getting to 1 million? We need 1 million members in the U.S. We're going to be helpful. We're going to go on the bus tour. We're going to do whatever we can to drive demand your all's way. And the reason why is we've got to calm down the waters between this idea that we can't have growth and we can't have great environment and we can't do it in tandem. And now I'm going to put on my nuclear company hat and be very biased and say the good thing is there's a solution that we abandoned 30 to 40 years ago, and that's the deeply frustrating thing to me. So I've built some of the largest solar projects in the southeast of the U.S., was fortunate enough to get brought in under the Obama administration. I was supporting the DoD, had a security clearance, and built solar on military installations. So we were building solar battery storage microgrid. And we had to clear-cut forest at Fort Benning, Fort Stewart, Fort Gordon in Georgia. And I'm sitting thinking, why the hell are we clear-cutting forest to put solar? I believe in it. I believe in clean energy. I grew up in a coal state. I have tons of friends in coal. I have, know all the operators in coal. But look, coal served its time. Like it powered us through the Industrial Revolution. It powered us through World War I and World War II. And instead of having a war on coal, we should have had a transition, but the transition should have been to nuclear. Like it really should have been to nuclear. And the problem the environmental community has faced is if it's the community of scientists and PhDs and data and facts, then the facts are not one human in the US has died from radiation fallout due to nuclear. It's voodoo, it's fear and panic. It's not real. No one's died. 3 Mile Island, the biggest disaster in the US, the technology failed exactly the way it was supposed to fail. No one died. Now, it was a PR disaster. Everyone was scared, rightfully so. The communities were worried. But the reality is no one died from radiation fallout. If the climate community wants to be honest with itself, then it's the problem. Why have we abandoned the gift from the stars, literally taking these tiny little rocks that can create heat? Why did we abandon this 30 years ago? Because big private equity got into wind and solar, because big money got into wind and solar, bought off every think tank, bought off every Ivy League school, bought off every policymaker to convince people that wind and solar was the savior. I mean, wind and solar have a place. Don't get me wrong, like solar on rooftops have a place, solar on parking lots have a place, but 1 gigawatt of nuclear, 1 gigawatt of nuclear. So if I'm trying to replace coal plants in Kentucky, 1 gigawatt of nuclear would take 10,000 acres of solar to get to 1 gigawatt, 10 acres per 1 megawatt. But the problem is with solar, it only operates a third of the day, whereas nuclear operates 93% capacity factor, so nearly all day. So you would need 3 times as much, 30,000 acres of solar to replace 1 nuclear power plant I can put on 10, well, call it roughly 60 acres. I could build a 6 gigawatt nuclear power park in maybe 2,000 acres. 6 times 30,000 acres is what it would require to build solar. If you want to decimate wildlife, if you want to decimate biodiversity, just cover our country in solar. I didn't, like when I vacationed growing up, we occasionally went to Destin, Florida. I did not travel the world. My wife wanted to go to Botswana in Africa for our honeymoon. I'm like, where's Botswana? Okay, where's Botswana? I'm sure it's great people, I've just not heard of it. Where's Botswana? We went to Botswana for our honeymoon. I wanted to go to Daytona Beach, she won. Went to Africa, beautiful place. You talk about wildlife, I felt like I was in Jurassic Park. You want to cover that continent with solar and wind, get rid of the rhino. Get rid of the wildlife. I talked to the locals there. They're like, please keep your country out of our continent, please. You're going to decimate our wildlife. They have a very distinct way in which they migrate. They have a very distinct way in which they mate. If you want to come to our continent and just cover it with solar, then just go ahead and wipe out the rest of the biodiversity on the continent of Africa. What are we doing? So look, the environmental community has one hope, and the hope is ACC. I'm a little dramatic about this, but I'm being serious. So please dig in, please work with the team and figure out how we can spread this wildfire of what you all have got going on, 10,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to 1 million. Sierra Club, you told me, has got 3.8 million, so the goal here should be 5 million. Make it happen. It can happen. Okay, so I've talked enough about that. So why nuclear? I kind of told you the land piece. The other piece is just the sheer raw power that's going to be required to lead this world. China is building 10 gigawatts of new nuclear a year. To put that in comparison, the US has built 2 gigawatts of new nuclear in the last 30 years. It hired most of the team. It was down in Georgia. It took 12 years. It should have taken 7 years. It cost $36 billion. It was supposed to cost $14 billion. But most importantly to me, it took 10,000 people on the construction site showing up every day. What the hell? Go to a rock concert, look around at 10,000 people. You like Tyler Childers or whoever here in Nashville, go watch a concert of 10,000 people. Think they got to show up to work every day. Holy God. So we have got to figure out how to, my client is the frontline worker. I've got to figure out how to get technology in their hands and speed up construction timelines. So what this company is doing, to my knowledge, we're the only company in the Western world focused on the delivery of new nuclear. What does that mean? So there's a lot of different reactor types in this country, startups to legacy like Westinghouse and GE, they're all designing a reactor. We will work with any reactor company. We will take that reactor, and our job is simply to deliver it and hand it off to an electric utility who can run it, a hyperscaler like Amazon, Google, Meta, or foreign governments if we end up being outside of the US. I would argue it's probably the largest challenge of our lifetime. If we cannot accelerate the pace at which we're putting new electrons on the grid, China's going to win. They're going to win the AI arms race, and when you win AI, you're going to win everything else. You're going to win advanced manufacturing. So there is a world where we can have growth, we can have new electrons, we can lead the free world, and we can also preserve biodiversity and conservation. I still, to this day, am trying to really understand what happened in the fall of nuclear. We're still the largest nuclear power producer in the world. We have only built 2 reactors since the 80s. We did it. Our grandparents, not even our parents, maybe, but mainly our grandparents and parents, older parents, 60s and 70s, they did it. 20% of the power produced today, your lights, 20% comes from nuclear power that was built in the 60s and 70s. Holy God. Like, they did it. The number one thing we can do for that next generation of ACC people coming up, sitting in those seats where you are, is to build as much effing nuclear power, as big nuclear, small nuclear, micro nuclear, build as much as we can. The generation, I now have children. I was doing work before children, now I have children. I have a 2-year-old at home and a 7-month-old. I'm leaving after this because I need to get home. I've been working too much. So I'm getting on the road, going back to Kentucky. My first daughter's name is Alma. My grandmother's name is Alma. Over my dead body, we have got to start fighting for that next generation. My grandmother grew up, her dad died in a coal mine. 100,000 people have died in this country mining coal. So that we can sit here at tables like this, and we're going to sit and talk about what we, the American people, cannot do? Not having it. So we've got to just run. This country, this thing, the American spirit, it is not given, it is earned. We need to earn it. I deeply believe in ACC. I do not speak at events. I definitely don't typically drive 10 hours round trip to come speak at an event. This tiny group of 200 people, you have the influence and power to get back on your campuses. Ohio State University, Penn State University, University of Kentucky, University of Tennessee. This is the place that has been overlooked for 20 years. It's time to light a fire on your campuses, dig in, and go help make our country survive. Guys, it is not a headline. It's facts. My CFO joined the U.S. military 3 days after 9/11. He was a part of SEAL Team 6. My chief nuclear officer ran Navy nuclear submarines. These are people that fought and almost died for this country. We have got to think differently. We can have environmentalism and we can have growth, but we have got to bring a different mindset. Thank you. This was a little much. I know I'm coming in hot and heavy here, so just bear with me. I hope, I'm not supposed to talk about this too much, but whatever. Governor of South Carolina, he's been great to us. They're going to do whatever is best for the state of South Carolina. I think we could probably be awarded VC Summer. VC Summer is a nuclear project that was abandoned in 2017, $9 billion hole in the ground. Our team's going to go finish that thing. Assuming we get awarded that job, all of you are welcome to the construction site. You can come, tour. Also, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. We'll do very organized tours. We have got to light the country on fire. It's got to be a different environmental movement. It's got to be one rooted in just common sense. So thank you all getting here. I don't know where you're all from, but Chris, I love Tennessee and I love this state park, but I will say you have to want to come here, because it's not like a direct flight. You have got to want to come here. And once you get here, it's beautiful. I was walking around earlier. The park's amazing. Tennessee's amazing. I would say Tennessee is obviously number 2 is amazing to Kentucky. But no, thank you all, ACC. I can't say it enough. This is the right team. It's the right group. You all have got the right thing. Please go make it happen. I hope I come back in 2 or 3 years and there's, we're damn well near 1 million members. So anyways, pro-nuclear, pro the environment, pro-ACC. Thank you all so much. I'm done.